Ladies and gentlemen, keynote will commence in 10 minutes. Can I please ask you to make your way to the auditorium? Ladies and gentlemen, keynote will commence in 5 minutes. Can I please ask you to take your seats? Wasn't that a bit? Ladies and gentlemen, keynote is about to start. Can I please remind you to silence your mobile phones?
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Pankaj Gupta.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Pankaj. I work in Google's office right here in Bangalore. I lead our engineering teams in India and Singapore for a very important initiative called Next Billion Users. I'm really excited to be here with you today at Google Developer Days because I'm myself a developer. I have used many Google APIs over the years. This is the first GDD ever in India, and this is the largest developer event that Google has held in India ever. But first, I want to talk to you about why and what Google is doing in India and in emerging markets all around the world. Today, Google has 7 products with more than 1 billion users each around the world. But we know that our next billion users will come from different parts of the world than our first billion. Our next billion users will not come from US or Canada or Germany. They will come from India, Indonesia, Brazil, Nigeria, and similar countries all around the world. That's why in India alone, we expect 650 million Indians to come online by 2020. That's why a couple of years back, we started the Next Billion Users initiative at Google, as we noticed that the future users of Google's products are going to be different than our current users. Perhaps the most important difference is that they're going to be mobile first, and in fact, largely mobile only. The smartphone is their first computer. It is the best camera they probably ever owned, and also probably their first video device that they ever carried around. Let's take a look at users in India, Indonesia, and Brazil, and compare them to the US. The users in these countries are incredibly young. I mean, just look around the attendees here. They're urbanizing fast, and they're aspirational, with disposable incomes growing rapidly. They're savvy. A large fraction of them have prepaid plans and multiple SIMs to get the best voice and data plans. They are unique. They have a strong sense of their own identity and culture that is different from the rest of the world. And yet, we at Google believe that they have the same fundamental needs. When they get online, they want to talk to friends. They want to be entertained. They want to understand the world around them. They want information to make their lives better. If you saw our search queries from Mumbai, they're not that different from search queries from New York City. If you look at search queries from Mumbai, you might find queries like, what time does this train leave? Where is the nearest doctor? When's the new movie with Deepika Padukone coming out? But right now, they face serious challenges to getting the information they need and having a good experience with the internet. They have low-spec phones, which are running usually a very old version of Android, and where storage is running out constantly. They have serious connectivity issues. Data can be slow and intermittent. It can sometimes take minutes to load a map, even more to buffer a video. And when they do manage to connect to the internet, they find that there is not much localized content. Let me give you an example. Wikipedia in Hindi, which by the way is now the fourth most spoken language in the world, has just 2% of the content of Wikipedia in English. So Google's approach to this is pretty simple. First, we want to ensure that everyone has access to internet. The rest is meaningless without a working internet connection. Second, we want to build platforms that enable developers like yourselves to build meaningful experiences for everyone. Third, we want to build products that are directly relevant to our next billion users. Let me start with access, which really is the foundation. In India, we have partnered with Tata Trusts and RailTel to provide Google Station, which is high-speed Wi-Fi in hundreds of train stations across India. It's the largest public Wi-Fi project in India, with millions of people now using this service. In addition to access, we also need to create awareness and educate people on how to use the internet. Our Internet Saathi initiative is now in 100,000 villages in 12 states across India. We have over 25,000 Internet Saathis. These are women who have been trained to help other women in the village learn about the internet and how it can be used to better their lives. These Saathis have trained over 12 million women over the past 2 years. And the impact that the internet is having on these women and their communities is truly incredible. Of course, Google cannot solve all the needs of everyone, everywhere by itself. So we want to make sure that we make strong platforms that allow everyone to contribute and grow with the internet. Because that ability to participate and contribute to the internet is key. It's what, in turn, makes the experience better for everyone. While we have lots more work to do, one thing we are proud of is our support of many languages in our key platforms. At the end of the day, Google is a products company. So we are working hard to try to make our products fast, relevant, and accessible in our users' own languages. Last year, we launched offline maps, which lets people save a map over Wi-Fi and then use the map just as they would if they were online. In 2013, we started letting people take videos offline on YouTube, launching first in India, as well as in Indonesia and Philippines. Now this feature is in more than 80 countries worldwide. So this is the cool thing. We have learned that when we tap into a user's insight, whether on how people connect or how they overcome constraints in any market, these insights tend to hold true globally, which allows us to make products better for everyone. In this case, I myself use Maps offline and YouTube offline all the time. And when the market needs it, we will build products that are made for India first. That's exactly what we did a little over 2 months ago when we launched Tez, a consumer payments and commerce mobile app that leverages UPI to build a brand new and refreshing payments experience to users all over India. Tez is made for India first. It is made to be as simple to use as cash and provides Google scale security to our users. It's been out a little bit over 2 months, and we have seen more than 10 million users, creating more than 74 million transactions. If you haven't checked it out, please do so today. Just yesterday, we launched another brand new product made for our next billion users first, called Datally. Datally is a mobile data savings app that helps people get the most out of their mobile data. Datally has 3 core features: understand your data, control your data, and save data by finding free Wi-Fi near you. Now, we are proud of what we have achieved so far, but we are also aware that there is a lot more work to do, and we are just getting started. So I've just given you a glimpse into what we are working on for the next billion users markets. I might be biased, but I truly believe that India is an amazing place for technology. Fortune 500 companies, startup hubs, entrepreneurs, dev centers, they're all blooming across India. And we have some of the best talent in the world. I'm lucky enough to work with many on a daily basis. That's why we believe it's very important for us to meet and work with all of you through events such as these. We want to hear your feedback on our products and programs so that we can give you what you need to turn your ideas into reality, whether you're building for the next billion, like me and my team, or you're building apps for use all across the globe. We want to enable you to focus on the problems that you're trying to solve and minimize the pain points of building a product. The Google developers team is on the ground in over 130 countries. And within India, thousands of you are participating as developer experts and as part of GDGs. And we are continuing to grow the Indian developer ecosystem through programs such as Women Tech Makers, the Google Developers Agency Program, and Launchpad. We are also working on providing trainings to deepen your technical capabilities year-round. In fact, you might recall the goal that we have committed to train 2 million Indian developers, 2 million Indian developers by 2020. To date, we have engaged over 500,000 developers through our various training programs, along with more than 1,000 faculty members from 400 colleges. Additionally, 11 state technical universities have adopted our Android Developer Fundamentals curriculum. We also recently launched developer student clubs in 23 states, and they have trained over 6,000 students in just 3 months. Finally, we have recently announced a partnership with Pluralsight to offer free developer and IT content to help skill 100,000 Indian developers through the Pluralsight platform. We are really inspired by the talent in India, and we want to continue to help cultivate the developer ecosystem here. Let me give you an example. Meet Jimit. Jimit's father is a street mechanic. Growing up, Jimit always assumed he'd follow in his father's footsteps, but he always loved to code. After completing his 6-month training to becoming a mechanic, he asked his father, "Hey, can I take some time to pursue my real interest, my real dreams of becoming a developer?" His father agreed, and from then, each day, he went to a part of town where he could access public Wi-Fi. He sat on this footpath you see here, where the signal was the strongest, and began taking Android courses through Udacity. After he completed this training, he began applying for jobs as a professional developer. And today, Jimit supports his family with the salary he's earning as a developer. Jimit's story is just one of many inspiring stories that motivate us to continue pushing towards our goals to train as many developers as possible. and build the products and platforms that are most useful to all of you. Now, I'd like to bring up some colleagues to share updates on the products across our developer platforms. Let's get started with how we are continuing to improve the Android development process. Please welcome Dan, and thank you.
Pankaj, namaste and good morning. It is the best time ever to be an Android developer, and I can say that because I've been developing Android for over 9 years, and have been at Google for over 7 of those years, but I've never seen anything like what we have now, this incredible confluence of meaningful developer changes. We're seeing ever more powerful tooling, a clear path forward for app design, a new programming language, support for on-device machine intelligence, and fundamental improvements to the distribution model. And much of this change derives from listening to all of you in our developer community. All of this is happening amidst the incredible momentum that Android continues to have. We're seeing 2 billion active devices on Android and 82 billion apps installed from Play. And what's even more amazing is how this momentum is making so many developers successful. The number of developers with over 1 million installs grew 35% in the last year. And to leverage this distribution to build great businesses, we expanded direct carrier billing to reach 900 million devices with over 140 operators. Altogether, the number of people buying on Play grew over 30% past year. But that's not enough. We know we can make distribution even better by removing the friction from app installs and making the entire experience more dynamic. Instant Apps is one of our big bets in bringing more users to your apps, and our early partners are seeing great results. I mean, OneFootball saw that the number of users who read news and shared content increased 55% in their Instant App, while Vimeo increased their session durations by 130%. Now, Macan found that the conversion rate in their real estate app increased by 2.8x compared to mobile web, and there are many more stories like these. Now, at I/O, we opened up Android Instant Apps to all Android developers, which means anyone can now build and publish an Android Instant App. And since then, we've made Instant Apps available to more than 500 million Android devices across countries where Google Play operates. Now, your Instant App is downloaded as needed, feature by feature. You enable this by organizing your project into feature modules, and then you can use the exact same code in both your Instant App and your installable app. We're easing the process of refactoring your app into these feature modules using the new modularized refactoring action in Android Studio. Modularize helps you move code and resources between modules. We've also included optimization tools for more efficient asset delivery with support for on-the-wire compression. When you're ready, you just upload your Instant App APKs together with your installable APK in the Play console. And to get started building an Instant App today, visit g.co Instant Apps. Now, at Google I/O back in May this year, we announced that Kotlin is a fully supported Android programming language, and the developer community support for Kotlin was a huge driver of our decision to embrace the language. But since that announcement, we've seen a massive increase in Kotlin activity. The number of apps in the Play Store that use Kotlin has grown by 3 times, and we observed that 17% of Android Studio projects are now using Kotlin. Of course, Android Studio 3.0 is released now and bundled with full support for Kotlin, including Kotlin templates for projects and activities, in IDE Kotlin lint support, while the 3.1 Canary adds lint support for Kotlin on the command line. But we didn't stop there. We've built docs and samples around Kotlin, and we're continuing to develop more in this area. We published the Android Kotlin guides on GitHub to provide guidance for Android Kotlin style and interop. We support Library 27. We have started adding nullability annotations to make the APIs friendlier to use in Kotlin. And we're doing all of this while increasing our commitment to the Java programming language, with Oreo support for many version 8 APIs, and support for language features such as lambdas and method references back to any SDK version with Dsugar. For me, Kotlin makes programming Android more fun and productive, seamlessly operating with the Android standard libraries while combining a dense syntax along with modern features such as functional programming and the ability to write DSLs. Now, minimizing install friction with Instant Apps and the Kotlin programming language are just 2 of the ways in which we've listened to your feedback. We've made substantial improvements to Android Studio, focusing on speed, smarts, and Android platform support. And you can see all the speed and smarts updates we've made to Android Studio behind me, but I want to call out one thing in particular. Your feedback has made driving sync and build time down our #1 priority. Benchmarking with a real-life 100-module project, since 2.2, build config time dropped from 3 minutes to 2 seconds, and we're continuing to work on build performance. In Android Studio 3.1, now in Canary, you can try out D8, our new DEX compiler, which compiles faster and outputs smaller DEX files while having the same runtime performance. On the emulators, we've added the Play Store for end-to-end testing. And you'll find awesome features for Android Oreo in Android Studio, like end-to-end instant app supports, O system images, improved profilers, and tons of O helper tools, like a tool to make building adaptive icons easy. And to download Android build dependencies, we're now distributing, of course, to our own Maven repository. Now, you've asked us to make Android frameworks easier, like providing an opinionated guide to best practices, a better solution for life cycles. Architecture components. Our libraries for common tasks, of course, is at stable release, with libraries for the view model pattern, data storage, and managing activity and fragment life cycles. We also have preview support for paging, which makes it efficient and easy to support huge data sets with Recycler View. App quality is an essential piece to growing a successful business. We took a sample of apps and analyzed the correlation between app quality and business success. And what we learned is when apps move from average to good quality, we see a 6-fold increase in spend and a 7-fold increase in retention. So quality is queen. So to help you ensure you're targeting the devices that work best for your app, you can now target specific devices in the Play console. You can browse a detailed device catalog, and if you need a certain amount of RAM, or you have issues with a specific system-on-system chip, you can set targeting rules to address this as well. And prior to excluding devices, you can even see your installs, rating, and revenue details per device. We've also got Android Vitals dashboards in the Play console, so you can now see aggregate data about your app to help you pinpoint common issues: excessive crash rate, ANR rate, frozen frames, slow rendering, excessive wake-ups, and more. These are enhanced by improved profilers and new instrumentation in the platform. And speaking of the platform, Android O adds so much for developers. We're in developer preview for Oreo 8.1, which has Android Go optimizations of targeting, as well as a new neural networks API, which lays the foundation for our developer community to build accelerated on-device applications of machine learning, including image recognition and prediction. Of course, O has vastly improved font support and auto-sizing text view, notification controls, and a new native Pro Audio API. We've made massive improvements in the runtime, including a concurrent copying collector and a series of optimizations to make your apps run smoother. We've introduced adaptive icons to improve the launcher experience and continue to harden Android security, with Google Play Protect now enabled on every Google Play device. We've improved accessibility, added support for autofill and smart text selection, added support for wide gamut color and extra long screens, and improved multi-display support. I'll be diving into all of this and much more in more detail later today. Now let's talk about some of the ways we're extending Android. AR Core uses motion tracking, environmental understanding, and light estimation to blend virtual content with the real world, as seen through your phone's camera. It's being offered as a preview, so that you can start experimenting with building new AR experiences and give us feedback. This preview is the first step in a journey to enabling AR capabilities across the whole Android ecosystem. Android Things makes developing connected mass market products easy by providing the same Android development tools, best-in-class Android framework, and Google APIs that make developers successful and mobile on a trusted platform. And I'm excited to announce that just today, Android Things Developer Preview 6 was released. Android Things hardware is based on system-on-module architecture. The SOM contains the CPU, the memory, the networking, and other core components in a very small package that can be produced cheaply since they're generic parts made in large quantities. For each SOM, Google provides the kernel, drivers, and other software as part of a board support package. So during prototyping and development, you attach them to a breakout board to connect I/O. For production, you can build your own custom board for the SOM, reducing costs and simplifying hardware development. On the software side of things, you build a standard APK and upload it to your fleet of devices via our developer console. Google provides an over-the-air update mechanism so you can roll out updates to your devices, and you can get security updates from the same people who maintain Android. So you can focus on your core business instead of having to worry about patching kernels and libraries. And since Android Things is Android, you can not only use familiar tools like Android Studio, Kotlin, and Firebase combined with Cloud IoT Core, but you can also leverage the power of TensorFlow and the Google Assistant in your products. Now, it's still early days, but we're seeing incredible growth in Android Auto. We continue to expand the number of Android Auto-compatible cars through great partnerships with over 50 car brands. There are over 300 Android Auto-compatible car models and aftermarket systems available today, which is triple the number from 1 year ago. And it's well on its way to becoming a standard feature in every new car. We've also made Android Auto available to all Android users with the launch of the standalone phone app, opening up the platform and ecosystem to many millions of drivers, no matter what kind of car they drive. Now, during the holiday season last year, Android Wear saw 72% growth, and that was before Wear 2.0 launched. The number of brands supporting Android Wear doubled from 12 last year to 24, and the choice of Android Wear watches doubled from 23 last year to 46. Apps are taking advantage of Android Wear 2.0 and its standalone functionality. which allows apps to work no matter what platform the watch is connected to. Finally, our strong partnerships with pay TV operators and hardware manufacturers allowed us to double the number of activated Android TV devices last year, and we expect that trend to continue and further increase. We're seeing this both across partners in the set-top box and the smart TV form factors. We've expanded our international footprint to 70 countries, and there are now more than 3,000 Android TV apps in the Play Store. And Android TV supports the Google Assistant for smarter content search and to be the center of the connected home. With so many ways for people to interact with Android, the strong communities that are supporting Android development, the improvements we've played in the platform, tooling, language, and the distribution of Google Play, it really is the best time ever to be an Android developer. Please check out the trainings, sessions, and code labs to learn how we're helping developers make Android great. Now, all of the Android form factors are tapping into the power of the Google Assistant. So it's my pleasure to welcome my colleague Suchit to the stage to talk about what the Google Assistant means to developers. Thank you. All right.
Thanks, Dan. Hi, everyone. As you just heard, the Google Assistant is now available across many devices, from your phone to your TV. It's also available on voice-activated speakers like Google Home. You, as a developer, have the ability to leverage actions on Google to build conversational experiences through the Google Assistant. So today, I'm going to tell you about all the new features we've added to the Actions on Google platform to make your apps for the Assistant even more capable. You can build apps for all sorts of assistive use cases for voice and visual interfaces, like shopping for clothes or ordering food from a lengthy menu. With UI elements like image carousels, lists, and suggestion chips, users can see more. They can also seamlessly transition between voice, typing, or taps in a single conversation in order to easily get things done with your app. We've also opened up powerful transactions experiences in the US and UK, helping developers grow their business by making it easy to complete purchases of physical goods and services through the Google Assistant on phones. This can be done with Google-facilitated payments or their own stored payment methods for users who've signed into their app. Speaking of sign-in, there's a seamless one-tap step for linking their rewards account to the Assistant. Orders can be tracked, modified, or even repeated using the transaction history view accessible in the Google Assistant. But none of this matters if users can't discover your app. We've rolled out an app directory within the Assistant experience on your phone with what's new and what's trending sections, which will constantly change and evolve, creating more opportunities for your app to be discovered by users. We're using your app's description and sample invocations to map users' natural search queries to new task-based subcategories of apps. We're even launching a new For Families badge designed to help users find apps that are appropriate for all ages. And to make finding your app easier, the Assistant is also learning from the directory and other information provided by you, the developer. Thanks to these signals, the Assistant can often respond to general requests like play a game, with a few different options from third parties. Improving discovery is very important for us, so you can expect ongoing investment and improvements in this area. Once users have found your app, they want frictionless assistive experiences. We are committed to enabling you to build for innovative new use cases. So just in the last couple months, we've exposed specific Assistant capabilities to developers. For instance, developers can now transfer their app's conversation from a voice-activated speaker to a mobile phone mid-dialogue. We have improved the voice UI development capabilities by giving developers more control over conversational mishaps like unrecognized input or cancellation. We've even introduced a proactive updates feature in Developer Preview, which allows you to request users to register for regularly scheduled updates or even push notifications. This opens new doors for app re-engagement and usage. Imagine being able to connect to your user each day to remind them about an upcoming event or provide them with an urgent alert directly through the Assistant. In order to leverage all these features, it's also important to us that the development process is smooth. The Actions console is your central hub for development. It helps you work as a team, choose the right tool for development, and collect data on your app's usage, performance, and user discovery patterns. It's integrated with the Firebase and Google Cloud Console so that it's easy to incorporate into your existing Google development projects. In addition to the console, we're also providing you with access to developer tools that let you quickly and easily build apps for the Assistant. Since the launch of our platform, we've worked with an expanding number of developer tools companies to make their solutions compatible with Actions on Google. we've also expanded the capabilities of the newly renamed Dialogflow, our own conversation building tool, launching new features such as an inline code editor, multi-language support, and in-dialogue analytics. One tool that I'm extremely proud to promote is templates. These allow you to build a fully functional, high-quality app for the assistant with no code at all. Just pick a template type, such as a trivia game or flashcards, fill in a spreadsheet with your content, and within minutes, you're ready to publish. In fact, I want every single one of you to try this as soon as you can. I promise it's that easy. While we are still in the early days of the platform, we are focused on making it more robust and expanding its reach and capabilities. One way we're doing that is by supporting the Google Assistant SDK, used to embed the Assistant into your own custom hardware devices, such as those powered by Android Things. Or, with our smart home integration, it's possible for device makers to build IoT devices that can be controlled from the Google Assistant. Another way we're expanding is by constantly working to open up to new languages for actions on Google. We recently launched in UK, Australian, and Indian English, as well as French, Korean, Japanese, Spanish, and other languages. We're excited for the road ahead, and we want more of you to join us by developing for the platform. With an addressable audience of more than 100 million devices, new capabilities like proactive updates, and an improved developer experience, we think this is an incredible opportunity for all of us. The magic of the Assistant is enabled by Google's deep investment in AI and the cloud. So to tell you more about that, please welcome Kaz.
Hello everyone, I'm Kaz Sato. I'm developer advocate for Google Cloud Team. It's like an evangelist for developers. I'd like to introduce machine learning solutions and services from Google. And what are AI, machine learning, and neural network? There's no scientific definition what is AI, but you can say it's the science to make things smart, like building an autonomous driving car or letting computer drawing beautiful pictures. And there has been many approaches to realize the vision of AI, and one of them is the machine learning, or ML. With ML, you can program your computer with data, not with the program code written by human programmers. So computers can find certain patterns from data to solve various problems. In ML, there are many different algorithms, and one of them is deep learning, or deep neural network. And since 2012, we have been seeing a big breakthrough in the area of neural network. So Google has been making a significant investment in developing a neural network technology. Google has been deploying deep learning technologies in over 100 production projects, such as Google Search, or Android, or Maps, and Gmail, and so on. For example, Google Photos lets you searching photos with keywords. The deep learning algorithms recognizes the objects in photos, and so you don't have to add labels or tags by yourself. Inbox mobile app has the smart reply feature that uses natural language processing technology to generate replies for each email thread. So you can just choose one of them to reply on this thread. Over 12% of responses on the app are already generated by this feature. Google Translate has introduced a new neural machine translation model to generate natural and fluent translated text. And now Google is focusing on externalizing the power of machine learning to customers and developers. One of those ML products is Cloud ML API, the pre-trained machine learning models, such as Vision API for image recognition, or Speech API for voice recognition, and NLL API for natural language processing. Another ML solution is TensorFlow. TensorFlow is an open source software for machine learning development that lets you train your own customized machine learning model. It is the standard ML tool used inside Google for developing any new machine learning or AI-based services. And Google has open sourced it in November 2015. TensorFlow is scalable and portable. You can start trying TensorFlow with your laptop, then running it with GPU or tens or hundreds of GPUs on the cloud. Because TensorFlow is scalable, you don't have to change your TensorFlow match to bring it to the large-scale distributed training. Also, once you have finished your training with a TensorFlow model, you can run it on various devices, such as smartphones or Raspberry Pi, and everything. With those benefits, TensorFlow got the most popular, big popularity from the open source world, the most popular deep learning framework in the industry now. TensorFlow is used by many large enterprises and projects for their POCs or production cases. Lastly, I'd like to show a demonstration called Find Your Candy. It's a demonstration that integrates the machine learning APIs and TensorFlow as a total ML solutions. Let's take a look at the video.
And give it to you.
Awesome. Okay.
All right, so click on that and speak into the mic.
May I have some gum?
So it understood what you said, may I have some gum? Now it's going through natural language processing. It's identifying the noun there, and gum. So now it's trying to, it will then match based upon the model that's been modified. Come on, come on, come on. And it is picking chewy gum. Oh, and there the camera identified extra long-lasting watermelon gum. Now the camera's, and over, and there's your gum.
That's great.
Machine learning in an app.
So I get to keep this, right?
Yeah, actually I've got like 7 boxes back there, so please, everybody take one.
Dave, thanks so much.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. So as we saw,
that's pretty great.
ML APIs and TensorFlow provides a real-world ML solution that allows you to bring the latest deep learning technology to solve your own business problems today. So with that, I'd like to invite Anita on stage to tell you a bit more about TensorFlow Lite.
Thank you, Cass. My name is Anita, and I'm the Technical Project Manager with TensorFlow on the Google Brain team. Bangalore is my hometown, and I'm really excited to be here with all of you. Go Bangalore! I will be introducing you to TensorFlow Lite and why we need an on-device machine learning library. On one side, machine learning traditionally has been run on powerful machines with tremendous amount of compute power. On the other side, mobile devices are ubiquitous and are getting more and more powerful. Some of these devices have more compute power than what NASA had when they first sent a man on the moon. Think about it for a minute. We essentially walk with supercomputers in our pockets these days. These trends enable us to shift some of the machine learning workloads from the cloud back to the device, specifically enabling machine learning inference on mobile and embedded devices, thus pushing the boundaries a little further. There are several reasons why on-device machine learning is useful. First, application developers might want to maintain functionality and do inference while offline. Second, applications may have low latency requirements of the order of milliseconds and really cannot afford a round trip back to the cloud. Third, specific sensitive applications might have requirements for the data to not leave the device, thus ensuring user privacy. There's also a need for the applications to work under low bandwidth, where you don't have the luxury of downloading a huge model at the time of inference. Fourth, processing powers needs to be done without turning on power-hungry radios. These are some of the motivations to do on-device ML. Even though on-device ML sounds like a great idea, mobile devices come with many challenges and have to operate under constrained environments compared to their workstation counterparts. There's limited network bandwidth, limited memory, sometimes even limited computation. At the same time, these mobile devices have very aggressive release and engineering cycles, which means there's hardware heterogeneity, which leads to supporting machine learning on specialized hardware like GPUs and DSPs. We decided that making a product whose sole focus was mobile devices is essential. TensorFlow is primarily for large devices and TensorFlow Lite for smaller devices. Put it simply, TensorFlow Lite is a machine learning library to do inference on mobile and embedded devices that's easier, faster, and smaller. The primary goals of TensorFlow Lite are low latency, small binary footprint, and optimized throughput. TensorFlow Lite has support for Android Neural Network API that enables hardware acceleration, leveraging custom accelerators on the phone. We released the first developer preview of TensorFlow Lite a couple of weeks back, and we have support for popular image classification models as well as text-based smart reply models. We can't wait to see what you all come up with using this on-device inference library. Now, please welcome Tal on stage from the Chrome team to tell you more about Chrome. Thank you.
Thanks, Anita. Hi, everyone. My name is Tal. I'm from the Chrome team. And I'm excited to talk about some of the improvements that we've made on the web over the past year. The web is big. With over 2 billion instances of Chrome, we know that the web has tremendous reach. But one of the true strengths of the web is that it's bigger than any single browser. So regardless of whether the device is a smartphone, or a laptop, or a desktop, or a tablet, they all have a browser. So any web-based experience is available on these billions of devices today. And we've seen this have a real impact on how many users web apps are reaching. We've all seen how quickly mobile has been growing. And native apps have been growing at an incredible pace with it. But what's really remarkable is that even with the web's large initial reach, we've seen the average monthly web audience growing even faster. And because of this growth, we're seeing the web expand into new areas, with experiences like WebVR being built on the web platform. So with the web pretty much everywhere, we're constantly trying to push the boundaries on what it can do. Over the past year, we've shipped hundreds of additional APIs that cover a range of capabilities, from making it easier to integrate payments to building fully capable offline media experiences directly on the web. But beyond just these core capabilities, we're also ensuring that the mobile web works well with the India stack. For example, with our payment request API, it's really easy to tie into popular payment methods for every region. So in India, we've ensured that it integrates with Google's new payments app, Tez. So it integrates with local businesses, banks, and India's unified payments interface. And with all of these capabilities, the modern mobile web also allows developers to build deep, rich mobile experiences with something that we call progressive web apps, or PWAs. PWAs are about helping web developers leverage the web's new capabilities to build high-class experiences that really feel immersive. They can load quickly, they work offline, and you can even send notifications to users. And we've seen a number of amazing experiences taking advantage of these new capabilities. As just one example, there's Ola, a popular ride-sharing app based right here in India, who recently built a progressive web app to help reach users in Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities. Here, they have a polished, fast, immersive experience that works on any connection. It can send users notifications, and it's built completely on the mobile web, so it's already accessible on billions of devices. And we're excited to announce that the reach of this PWA technology is huge, as the core technology powering this is now supported across top browsers, including UC Browser in India. And with the ability to create such immersive experiences like this, we also want to make sure that you can get back to it really easily. Add to Home Screen has always allowed users to add an experience to their Android home screen. But with our improved Add to Home Screen flow, when you add a PWA to your home screen, it's fully integrated into the platform. So to users, it feels like any other app experience on their device. It'll appear in the Android launcher alongside your Android apps, and it'll even appear in Android storage settings. But since it's a PWA, it's inherently small, so users are able to get an immersive experience without requiring extensive storage space. And this fast, integrated, improved Add to Home Screen flow is available now. So with all of these new capabilities, we've also been working to make sure it's easy for web developers to build these experiences. We'll be going into a lot more detail on how to develop PWAs throughout the mobile web track, but no matter how you're building your web app, Lighthouse is a tool that can show you how to improve your web experience. Lighthouse is a Chrome extension and command line tool that quickly audits your site to identify how you can improve your app's performance, accessibility, and progressive web appiness. And we're excited to announce that as of M60, Lighthouse is now directly integrated into DevTools. So now you can quickly see how your website is doing and what to do next directly in Chrome. And with all of these tools, we've seen just how easy it can be for companies to take advantage of these new capabilities for their web experience. To give another example, there's Voot, a popular video streaming site, also based here in India. And it's an experience built on the web, so users can get to it directly. And with our new Add to Home Screen flow, it can also be easily accessed from the app launcher or the Android home screen. And when you open it, you get a high-class immersive experience. It automatically rotates to allow for full-screen experiences. And with some of the newest APIs, they can even support downloading of videos and offline playback. And since it's built on the web, users can get this entire experience immediately on their devices. And this is just one example of many. Leveraging the modern mobile web is now the norm around the world. Whether they're building a PWA from scratch or leveraging the latest capabilities on their existing web experience, companies everywhere are seeing a tangible impact on their key metrics. With the modern mobile web, it's possible to easily build immersive, fully capable experiences that can reach billions of people around the world today. And now, let's turn our focus to what we're doing to make it easier to develop apps and grow your business. Please welcome Francis.
Hi, I'm Francis, and I lead the Firebase product team. Our mission is to help developers like you build a better app and grow a more successful business. At I/O 2016, we've expanded Firebase from a set of back-end services to a broad mobile platform to help you solve many of the common problems you face across the lifecycle of your app. From helping you build faster and easier with products like remote cloud storage and real-time database, to helping you better understand and grow your users with tools like analytics and cloud messaging. Whether you're starting something new or looking to extend an existing app, we're here to help you so that you can channel more of your time and energy towards creating value for your users. And we make this available all through a single, easy-to-use SDK available across platforms. To date, there are over 1 million developers that have used Firebase, and we're humbled that so many of you have trusted us with your apps, and we're committed to helping you succeed. Over the last year, our team has made many updates to Firebase, and I'd like to highlight a few of these. First, let's start with back-end services, where we provide you the core building blocks to help you build your apps faster and easier. One of these is Cloud Firestore, a NoSQL document database that scales automatically. Cloud Firestore features a new document collections data model, and it makes it a lot more intuitive for you to structure your data. It's also fully auto-managed, and it's built on Google's global infrastructure, so that it will automatically scale with you, and you don't have to worry about managing your machine sizes, RAM allocation, or networks. Now, Firestore, like other Firebase products, also works with Cloud Functions. Cloud Functions gives you a way to deploy your JavaScript code to the cloud and execute it based on an HTTP request or through other events happening across Firebase. So for example, you can write a function to extend Cloud Firestore to do some server-side processing like data validation whenever a document is uploaded. With Firestore, Functions, and other Firebase backend services, our infrastructure will scale with your workload automatically from prototype to planet scale, freeing you from managing your own servers. So let's switch gears to talk about some other updates that can help you better understand and improve your app stability. Since welcoming the Fabric team to Google earlier this year, we've integrated Crashlytics into Firebase. Firebase Crashlytics is our flagship crash reporting product that helps you monitor and fix crashes and app errors. And in addition to monitoring app crashes, it's also really important to understand how your app performs out in the field, because users often abandon slow-running apps. And that's where Firebase Performance Monitoring can help you better understand how your app performs across the diversity of devices and network conditions. Now, with just one line of code, you can get insights into your app's startup time and network latency. As well, you can add custom metrics to really understand how your app performs through those critical user flows that you really care about. And this is a great way to find those bottlenecks in your app that could be impacting your user engagement or even your business bottom line. So in addition to helping you build a better app, Firebase also helps you grow and engage more users. First, let's talk about cloud messaging, or FCM, which gives you an easy way to send notifications to engage your users. FCM is integrated with analytics, so it gives you many options to send targeted notifications to different user groups or app versions. Another great way to drive user engagement is by creating a personalized experience. And Remote Config helps you do that more easily by enabling you to change your app's configuration remotely and at runtime. It's also integrated with analytics, so you can fine-tune and customize your app experience to different user segments or app versions. Now, many developers use FCM and Remote Config to create a more targeted experience. But we've also heard from many of you that you want an easier and more powerful way to test different variants. And for that, we've recently released first-class A/B testing support for Firebase. With A/B testing, you can test different variants of notification messages or configuration values to different groups of users, and it will help you figure out which of these variants perform best for the goals that you've specified. So for example, you can figure out whether the orange button or the blue button help drive more user purchases. I'm also very excited to share that we've recently taken our first step of bringing Google's machine learning to Firebase with the release of Firebase Predictions. Predictions applies ML to your analytics data and helps you predict users' behavior like churn, spend, or other events that you've specified that are important to your app. Now, it's also integrated with other Firebase products, so you can take targeted actions like triggering an in-app promotion using Remote Config to users who are most likely to spend, or say, send the push notifications to target users who are likely to churn, or run A/B tests across these different groups. I'm very excited to be here sharing these updates on behalf of the Firebase team and meeting many of you here. I look forward to hearing your feedback and continue to work hard to help you build a better app and grow a more successful business. Thank you. And with that, I'd like to welcome Pankaj back for some final
Please welcome
remarks.
back Pankaj Gupta.
Thanks, everyone, for joining us this morning. I hope you are all as excited as I am about the progress we have been making with our developer product and platforms. Thank you to our speakers, Dan, Sachit, Kaz, Anita, Tal, and Francis. For the rest of the day, you're invited to participate in technical sessions, trainings, code labs, and explore the sandboxes right outside. So please enjoy the Google Developer Days India event. Thank you.
Welcome to Google Developer Days India. We're happy that you'll be joining us for 2 days of talks.
Hey. Namaskara, swagata. Hello and welcome to Bangalore. And for those of you from Bangalore, thank you for welcoming us to your wonderful city. My name is Sam Dutton, and I'm a developer advocate for the web. I've only been here a few days, but I've already met a bunch.
Make sure your skills are up to date. So feel free to take a look at that. Just look at developers.google.com/training. And then one more thing. If you saw the news last week, and it was mentioned in the opening session, we announced 130,000 scholarships here in India last week. 30,000 of those are for Udacity courses, including 10,000 of those include the study course leading up to the certification and the cost of the certification. 100,000 of these are subscriptions to Pluralsight, where there's a lot of really useful material you can learn from. And with that, that's a lot to remember. So just remember developers.google.com/training/programs/India. This will get you to the India-specific page with all the information, including all of the scholarships. So Sam, why don't we wrap this up?
Yeah, let's wrap this up. So thank you, Sarah. And yeah, I would really recommend the training, a great way to keep your skills up to date. Anyway, so to get started with Progressive Web Apps, we have some great sessions, as you can see, coming up today and tomorrow, more technical content. And we also have, expert web Googlers on hand, people from the Chrome team, to answer your questions and solve your problems in the web area. And come and check out our stuff in the sandbox. Check out the Lighthouse if you haven't seen that already.
The web team is also running 3 hands-on workshops, 90 minutes each. So today, data-driven progressive web apps, how to build web apps that work with data online and off, using Workbox from website to PWA, and then tomorrow morning, combining accelerated mobile pages and PWA. They're in the other building, and come on over. They're free. Bring your laptop, and we'll get you to some really interesting stuff.
Yeah. And if you want to learn more about PWAs, I've actually put together a whole bunch of links to great resources at bit.ly/PWA resources. So lots more good stuff there as well, too, from external experts. And lastly, always, if you want to learn about what's new on the web, do check out Web Fundamentals. Our content at developers.google.com/web is, right at the forefront. Stuff from people who are building browsers and working on web specs.
And that's it.
Yeah. I mean, most of all, please feel free to contact, Sarah and me and speak to any of the Googlers here.
Yep. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. We're here to learn what you're doing on the web and to find out what we can do to make the web better and help you build great experiences for all your users. Thank you so much. Dhanyavada. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Sean McMillan, developer advocate for Android. At Google I/O, we announced that Kotlin is a supported language for Android development. And today, I'm going to talk about how Kotlin can help you write great code. I'm going to do that by diving into some typical test code that you write every day and adding Kotlin. We're going to go pretty deep, and full warning, most of this talk is code. I thought I'd start out by talking a bit about what Kotlin is and why we've decided to support it for Android. Kotlin is a modern programming language. It has type inference, first-class functions, lambdas, coroutines, and all of the features you expect from a modern language. Kotlin